It was written on it, sacrifice, and that means that one of them has to die. At that time, Kim already knew and told Sean, "You know what's required of you." Sean stepped forward and went to the place of the altar that appeared. Nothing happened to him, just a red flame lit up next to him, and nothing happened to him at all. At that moment, Tang realized that they had misunderstood something. He told those with him, "Help me get over there." Everyone was hesitant and didn't want to go. But Tang told them, "Don't worry, nothing will happen to you." The kids listened to him and actually took him there. 3 more fire flames lit up, but still, nothing happened. At that moment, Tang figured out what was going to happen. He said, "The rest of you gather here." Everyone listened to him and stood at that altar. 6 red flames ignited around them, and around him a lot of blue fire appeared. Then the statues also lit up and started moving closer to them, and it looked like this was the end. The door also opened and everyone was in shock. Are we all going to die or what? Tang couldn't comprehend what was happening. He kept looking at the statues, searching for anything that could save them. He actually found it and told them, "Don't take your eyes off the statues. If you look away from them, the statues won't stop and we'll all die." And one of them was terrified by the sight of blood on the statue, so she left them and ran to the door, trying to escape by any means. The statue didn't kill her. The girl got out safely, but one of the flames went out. What on earth is happening? The guy who was carrying Tang was also extremely scared and didn't know what to do. He told them, "I know what I'm about to do might hurt you, but I'm sorry." He threw Tang on the ground and ran after the girl. He also left the temple. And after they left, the door closed and their flames also went out. Yes, now the game is clear. One person has to stay inside to sacrifice themselves, otherwise everyone will die when the statues get close to them. Kim knew what was going to happen. He started crying. He told them, "I'm sorry. I know that if I leave here, you won't be able to stop all the statues. But I have a family. My family is waiting for me and I have to go back to them." He threw down his sword and they also left the place. The statues were also almost upon them. Tang realized that they were as good as dead, and at that moment Captain Shun was sure of what was about to happen. He told him, "Take this and run from here. I'll stay behind for you." Either way, they just won one sacrifice, and I have to take full responsibility. Come on, take her and go. At that moment, Jo had lost her strength, collapsed to the ground, and couldn't walk anymore. Tang also had his leg cut off and couldn't walk either. That's why the guy told him, "You take her and go. I'll stay. My leg is already cut off and I won't be able to carry her." "But you can." Jo got upset and angry. She told him, "No, I'm not leaving here without you. You have to come with me." Tang told her, "When I get out of here, I promise I'll take you out to dinner. Take this crystal, everything I collected from the cave, with you. Buy yourself something and when I get out, I'll come see you again." The girl was about to respond, but he surprised her, picked her up on his shoulder, and as he was leaving, he said, "Thank you for everything." The door finally closed, and the statues were getting closer. The guy was as good as dead, holding Kim's weapon and trying to defend himself or scratch them or do anything, but it was useless against the statues. One of the statues cut off his arm. He was stunned by the blow and couldn't take it anymore. He thought to himself, "Thank God I'm the only one who's going to die. I've fought and survived countless times, but it looks like this is the end." The guy keeps fighting, but he's broken and battered. He's extremely aggressive. He's being attacked from all sides. His blood is flying everywhere. He remembers what Kimya said before she left. She got angry at him and said, "You ran away and left us here just because you have a family." Well, I have a family too. You're just selfish, nothing more. Only selfish people like you are the ones who survive. If I just got a second chance, I wouldn't let anyone push me to this point again. Suddenly, a message appears in front of him. You've acquired the skill, Courage of the Weak. Your heart will stop in 0.2 of a second. If you don't answer and say yes, do you agree to become a player or not? At that moment, he didn't understand anything, but he made a choice. Yes, and after that, the guy passes out and wakes up in the hospital, anxious and not feeling himself. He doesn't understand how he ended up here. He looks at his arm, the one that was cut off, and finds it back in place. His leg is fine too. He was really surprised and said, "Was everything that happened just a dream or what?" No, it wasn't. And what proved it to him was that 2 elite members of the Hunters Network came in to check on his condition. He's the 4th rank Cave Massacre's 6th survivor. Can you tell us what happened inside? Sungjae told them everything. Of course, the people were surprised. They told him, "When we arrived at the place, you were there unconscious, but there wasn't a single statue next to you. If it weren't for the fact that all the victims' statements were identical, not even slightly different, we would have thought you lost your mind. But as long as there were no monsters there, that means only one thing. You might have experienced an awakening and your power increased or something." At that moment, he was shocked and asked them, "What do you mean by awakening? Isn't it supposed that a hunter has one power that stays with him until he dies?" The hunters told him, "Yes, but in rare cases their power manifests and they can transform from rank 5 hunters to rank 1 or even to rank 0. The guy was shocked and asked them, "So how do I know if my power has increased?" The man said to him, "It's very simple. We brought a device that measures power. All you have to do is put your hand on it and we'll know what happened to you." He said, "Alright," and he really did it, but unfortunately his power was the same as before. "Looks like we doubted you for nothing." They excused themselves and then left him and walked away. But after they left, Sung Jinwoo was very surprised. Weren't they able to see this message or what? Of course not. This message appeared ever since he woke up, and it says, "Congratulations, you have become a player." Of course, the guy doesn't understand anything and is still doubtful. The information isn't clear, and he wants to make sure of something. Indeed, his sister came in to check on him. She didn't know anything about what had happened inside the cave and was very happy that he was okay. He asked her, "Do you see anything like this in front of you?" So his sister replied, "No, is there something wrong with your head or what? There's nothing here at all." So he told her, "Alright, never mind, don't worry about it." His sister said to him, "Since you're joking and laughing like this, I'll leave you now and come back another time." After that, his sister left him and walked away. After she left, he sat down and started trying out the messages in front of him, trying to understand anything. Then a message appeared to him that said, "The daily tasks are to run a bit and do some sit-ups." And at the end, it said that if you don't complete these tasks, you'll be transferred to the punishment area. Of course, he didn't pay any attention to what was written and said, "Who can even move while lying in bed? Let's just rest for a bit." Time passed quickly. The day ended, and while he was sleeping, he suddenly found himself transported to a strange place. Yes, this is the punishment area. Monsters appeared behind him. The guy was about to wet himself. What on earth is happening? I don't understand anything. This was written for him because he didn't complete the daily tasks. He was transferred to the punishment zone. He has to escape from these monsters for 4 hours, or if he cannot, he will die. Of course, the boy didn't understand anything, got very anxious, and couldn't take it anymore. He kept running from the monsters, trying to hide his body and energy. That's it, he finished off this monster too. It was about to reach him and kill him. And suddenly the 4 hours were up. Song was back in the hospital again. The nurses saw him in that state. They barely managed to save him. The next day, the boy finally understood everything. He realized that if he didn't complete the daily missions, he would literally get punished. So every day, before even having breakfast or anything, he would get up and finish his tasks first. As a result, his energy increased and his physical fitness improved a lot. Everything was going perfectly. At the same time, Juhi was sitting at home, depressed and in psychological shock from what had just happened to her. The girl looked really sad and wasn't thinking of doing anything at all. But after she finds out that Song is okay and alive, she becomes very happy and decides to go visit him at the hospital. When she actually arrives there, she finds some nurses talking about him, saying that this patient is not normal. Just a few days ago we were treating him, but now he keeps working out since morning and he's been like this for 4 days. What happens to him after she hears them? She realizes that Song has gotten over the shock, unlike her, so she decides to leave the gift at his door and then leave. At that time, Song had finished his daily exercises and was doing fine. He discovers that when he completes his workouts, he gets daily rewards like restoring his energy, extra strength points, and things like that. At the end of the day, he receives a random box. And for the past 3 days, this box has been giving him trivial items. But today, he got something unusual. Yes, a 4th grade dungeon key. Sung Jin-woo wanted to explore it, but he was anxious and afraid that something might happen to him like before. The guy is barely able to encourage himself. He actually goes to the location of the key. A place appears for him, right? Of course, the guy is hesitant to go in, afraid of what's inside and worried something might happen to him. But he encourages himself again and enters the cave. But after he enters, the exit door of the cave closes, and in order to get out, he either needs to have a special stone or defeat the boss of the cave, otherwise he'll die there. After he finds this out, the guy is terrified. He keeps walking, extremely anxious, and actually encounters 3 weak goblins who gang up on Sung and try to kill him, but he barely manages to dodge their attacks. He tries to fight them off with his knife and manages to kill one of them. Of course, his energy increased. He killed the other 2 as well. Things seemed calm, but suddenly, another dangerous monster attacked him. It was called the Iron-Fanged Wolf, extremely strong, and Sung, his knife broke. The wolf turned on him too, stared at him, and Sung's legs started shaking. He didn't know what to do. The wolf kept coming at him with all its strength, closing in on him. Looks like this is the end, my friend. The wolf was almost upon him, but then Sung suddenly leapt up and found himself far away. He realized it was because of his increased physical strength. Then he called out to the wolf, and as the wolf attacked him again, Sung landed a crushing punch to its head. But unfortunately, without a weapon, Sung can't defeat it, and this wolf looks tough, my friend. The guy keeps trying to escape from the wolf, dodging left and right, but he can't shake it off, and it looks like he's about to die. At that moment, he remembers his abilities and realizes he has a storage space. He opens it and pulls out this sword. The wolf was also getting closer to him, just about to kill him. But do you really think he can kill her? My friend. No, honestly, he uses his sword and slices the next one in half. Then 2 more wolves come to help him. But the legend takes one of them out easily. The other one gets scared and runs away. At that point, he sat to the side and started exploring his skills, stats, and everything else. He discovers that after killing the wolf, he absorbs its energy and his level increases. Now he's at level 2, and the more monsters he kills, the higher his level gets and the stronger he becomes. Of course, he's really happy with all the progress he's making, encourages himself, and keeps going. But as he's walking, he finds that the wolf who ran away has brought its siblings, and now it's over. The guy is surrounded by wolves from every direction. But do you think that's going to make a difference to him, my friend? Say it with me. No way. He's taking them down one after the other. No one can stand in his way. He finishes them all off and absorbs their energy. And after he's done with them, his energy and level rise, and he keeps going deeper into the cave to reach his limits. He encounters monsters in different forms, but now the guy shows no mercy to anything he faces. He does to them what he did to the ones before. But after he killed all those monsters, his energy increased and his level went up, and it became hard for him to level up any further by just killing these weak monsters. So that's why he has to look for stronger monsters. Then he discovers an underground entrance and realizes there's an abnormal monster there. Its aura reaches him and terrifies him right where he stands. He started thinking 1,000 times before entering that cave. And actually, after defeating those wolves, he got the return stone from Annie so he can go back anytime he wants. But the guy encourages himself and says, "No, I won't run from this monster." At the same time, in the outside world, a portal suddenly opened up in the street. The people didn't kill their boss. As a result, the monsters came out and started killing everyone in the city. At that time, Joy happened to be passing by that place. The Hunters Network called her to come and help the people. The girl was really hesitant to go, but after remembering Sung, she encouraged herself and said, "I'm coming now." Sung had arrived at the monster's location and couldn't see anything, but suddenly the sound of the water changed. Boom, Sung got hit on the head. Yes, his sword broke with a single blow. The monster saw him. "Looks like this is your end, my dear." Another attack came at him very quickly. Sung tried to hit it. He also tried to push it away, but he couldn't. The monster is cornering him from every direction, attacking and beating him up. He's getting pummeled and tries to escape in every direction, but he doesn't know where to go. Then the monster throws a car at him. He sees it coming and feels helpless. He runs away from it as fast as he can. He struggles to grab his weapon. He finally grabs it and says, "How long am I going to stay this weak? I just barely started to feel strong. But it looks like I was way too arrogant." Then he remembers all the people who used to mock him in the past. He gets really angry and the monster hits him and puts more pressure on him. But Sung doesn't give up. He tells him, "I'm not going to give up again. I'm not going to be put in the same position of weakness again." He gets angrier than ever. His features change and his body and energy become something unnatural. The monster also got angry at him and attacked recklessly. Do you think that's going to make a difference to him, my friend? No, honestly, the guy grabs the snake by the neck and tells him, "I won't spare you." He says, "All the points I've collected from my skills, I put them into physical strength and I'm not letting you go." He squeezes the snake with all his might, shouting and his features changing. Blood has now filled the place. He tells him, raising his voice, "I won't give up." The snake had also reached its limit with Son Goku. He keeps pressing on, and bam! What a move! He took down the beast, and his level went up. His energy increased a lot, and they were all happy with this victory. He says, after finishing him off like that, "Finally, I feel like my energy has increased a bit." And after that, he collects the loot from this beast. A new weapon appears for him, like a dagger with very high abilities, and it has the poison ability of the snake. Of course, Song puts them in his inventory, and then the cave is finished. The guy returns to the world again, and comes out from the place he exited. He finds a police officer running toward him quickly and saying, "What are you doing here? No one is allowed to be in this area." Song asks him about the reason. The police officer didn't want to answer him, but when he saw the sword in his hand, he realized that Song was a hunter and said, "Please, come with us quickly, the town is in trouble." Song didn't understand anything, but he went with him to find out what was going on. On the way, the man told him, "There's a dangerous monster nearby." Song actually observes, uses his power, and pinpoints the monster's location. He heads to its place and finds a group of low-ranked hunters fighting the monster, but they're unable to handle it. The hunters were completely overwhelmed, and the monster was practically humiliating them. Zoe was also standing with them at that time, trying to help, but because of her last dungeon, she still couldn't gather her strength. She was basically a burden on the team, nothing more. The monster, on its part, had also increased its energy and was about to kill those guys. No one was going home. Just imagine, someone is about to die, and if there's a picture, my friend... No, actually, the guy steps back, gathers his strength in his hand, and throws the whole sword. His power hits the monster and boom, breaks through its defense. After that, the kids found it easy to attack the monster, took advantage of the situation, and finished it off too. But their leader was really surprised by what happened and realized that someone had helped them from afar. He asked the guard about who threw that sword, but the guard was just about to point at Sung when he realized he wasn't there anymore. At that moment, Sung had already left, so no one would discover his power or draw attention to himself. And honestly, his development had become really impressive, my friend. Zoe also spotted him, and you get the feeling she's not going to get out of the mess she's in. After a few days of continuous training, Sung's muscles grew, and now all the nurses in the hospital are talking about him. One of them says, "Did you see that guy who was so weak just a couple of days ago? Look how much he's changed." After he started working out, his muscles became defined, and he turned into quite a powerhouse. One of them doesn't believe what they're saying and tells them, "Fine, I'll go see for myself." She grabs his things and actually goes to Sung. She opens the door, and when she sees him, the girl is shocked. And you, me, all of us, my friend, are shocked too. The guy's appearance has changed 180 degrees, and now he looks like this. Anyway, after that, Sung gets discharged from the hospital once the nurse checks on his health and makes sure everything is fine. He goes back to his house and rests there. Then his sister says to him, "Wow, what's with all this? Your muscles have not only appeared, they've really filled out too. What's your story exactly?" Sung talks back to her a bit, then the girl leaves. After she leaves, the landlord calls Sung and says, "Hey, where's your rent? You're 10 days late. Do you want me to throw you out or what?" Of course, the guy apologizes for the delay and says, "Don't worry, I'll get you the money right away, God willing." But man, how are you going to get it? Your situation is really something else, honestly. And that's why the guy starts looking for a job to quickly make some money. He actually finds one and decides to go for it. When he arrives at the place for the job, he finds 6 people there. These people are these are 3rd rank, and some of them are even 4th rank. All they want is just one person to carry their bags, nothing more. They also brought a kid along to dig and extract the magical gems. That kid's name is Gino. His family is extremely wealthy, and he was wearing a ridiculous amount of armor worth billions. My friend. Anyway, they actually entered the cave and everything was fine. There weren't any monsters at first, so they went deeper into the cave. But still, there were no monsters. At that point, Tong started analyzing all the holes in front of him and deducing their types. He focused his senses and figured out what kind of monsters they were and where they were located. He told them where the monsters were. Everyone listened to him and started attacking the insects above them. The monsters attacked them. Everyone started fighting them. This team is really skilled and everyone cooperates with each other. As for Tong, he was just standing there, bored, killing a few insects out of boredom, but he felt like something was wrong. Yes, this team is made up of 6 fighters and defenders, and there isn't a single healer among them. Am I overthinking things or what? Anyway, never mind. The important thing is they keep going and reach the entrance to the boss's lair. But before they go in, Tong notices some suspicious looks from the team leader, which makes him really worried. He asks Gino, "Is this your first mission or what?" So Gino said yes, and Tong told him, "Alright, be careful, because this might be your last." Of course, the kid didn't understand what he meant, but they kept going and reached the boss's chamber in the cave, and there were spider webs everywhere around them. They kept cutting through them until they finally got there. The monster was asleep, and the place was filled with high-grade magical jewels that were extremely valuable, with prices that could reach up to 1,000,000,000 yen. Of course, all the hunters were overjoyed with this gain and couldn't believe their luck. And according to the contract with Tong, he was supposed to split the jewels with the hunters and take his share of the profit from them. Of course, it was Jinwoo who told him about this, and then Dongsuk, the team leader. He said to him, "Man, why are you worried? Don't worry. He'll take whatever he wants. But before the boss wakes up, we need to get these crystals out." He then asked the guy with the digging tools, but he tells them, "I left them outside." He said to him, "Alright man, let's go get them. You two just stay here. We'll go get the tools and come back." Jinwoo objected to what he said and told them, "How can you leave us in this room? The boss of the cave is here and he could kill us at any moment." Dan Suk said to him, "Come on man, don't worry. The boss is asleep and it doesn't look like he'll wake up now. This is your first cave, you won't understand anything. Just leave it to the people who know what they're doing, and I won't be long." They actually left the cave. Dan had a sly, unnaturally happy look on his face. He ordered the guy with him to block the cave entrance. The guy actually blocked it. Tong understood everything. Yeah, they're going to wait for the boss to kill them and then take all the rewards. It's a devilish plan that the team always uses to benefit without any losses. And of course, this happens because any killing that happens inside the cave, no one outside in the real world knows about it. And it looks like the team is used to doing this, right? Of course, he had heard about this before and was told that any hunter team must have at least 8 members. And because of these rules, a bunch of scumbags exploit the dungeons to kill off the rest of their teams so they can take all the shares. If you run into a group like that, you have to run away or your fate will be death. At that time, it was really terrifying. The leader of the dungeon had also woken up and the kids looked absolutely terrified.